Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Heyo, it is I, Hina, back with another video. Today we're going to dive into the world of Peak. Have you ever thought why you landed on this hot sand and why you even crashed? Who's the Scoutmaster and why are there cursed objects on this island? Well, today we are taking fall damage into the world of Peak in 10 minutes. Before we start, this video will include all the updates to this day, basically all the updates based off the current game updates. This was filmed on the 28th and the 29th, so that you know. I will try to update this video every time there is new information dropped about the game based off today's video. You have a passport in hand that helps you customize how you look, from your facial expressions to the color of your skin, and different outfits as well. You start off spawning into the Bing Bong Airport. You get there through an elevator. There is a big mirror in the airport and also a climbing structure off to the side. And the other thing that's in the airport is boarding onto the plane. Once you board the plane, you seemingly appear to crash onto an island. From the papers that you find from Scoutmaster Myers, the plane made an oopsie, almost like it's not serious that the plane has crashed. As you get up, the plane is broken into two, there is fire, the plane is just completely, literally into two pieces. There are random suitcases around, and a bunch of items that you can see around the plane as well. Some of which those include a flare, Bing Bong, a stuffed toy, a compass, binoculars, a lantern, a bugle, and a book lying around telling you how to survive, aka the guidebook, written by Scoutmaster Myers. Naturally, you don't follow the book, but the guidebook says how to basically play the game, whether it's from climbing to sprinting, to crouching, to how to emote. But it also talks about Rule 0. Never abandon a friend in need. Scoutmaster Myers wrote this book. The whole point of the game is to get to the top of a randomly generated mountain with different biomes that change every day. As you go throughout the game, you're getting hungry or poisoned or hurt. You're finding luggage from the plane as you're climbing up. Each suitcase has different items to help you, either with your hunger or your health, or even items to help you climb to get to the top. Speaking of suitcases and items, some items have curse aspects, such as the skull, or the random suitcases that are cursed. Makes me think there were some beings on the plane that were prepared for something crazy to happen, like it was planned or something. Or maybe someone is just into voodoo shit and we never know. There are 5 different statues throughout the game. They are there to help you revive your friends. They're kind of like totems or statues. You press E on them and it revives your teammate. But if all your teammates are revived and you reach the top, or you don't want to wait for your teammates to reach the top and you press E on the statue, it will give you an item. There are 5 totems or 5 statues, however, if you didn't know. The 5th one is at the very end of the game. Before you call the jet or the airplane or whatever it is, you can go behind that peak and see a statue there. And that statue originally held a mushroom, but currently on current update it holds a gem. Till this day we don't know what that gem is for, but I assume it has some connection to the upcoming updates coming out about Peak. Once you reach the end of Peak, or the end of the last mountain, you use your flare to call and signal in help. That's how you reach the peak of the game and the end of the game. Back to the Scoutmaster. If you didn't put 2 and 2 together, Rule 0 that was shared by Scoutmaster Myers is the same exact Scoutmaster that you run into if you leave your friends behind. In all his bones and glory, and basically trying to kill you, not help you. As you find these pages, it seemingly notes that Scoutmaster Myers was left behind by his friends, which is why he is so angry once he encounters you after you leave your friends behind. The notes you find are Scoutmaster's journey up the peak. As mentioned, his whole troop are working together to get up. You come across bonus rule page, which is titled, "Where'd everyone go?" It seems that Scoutmaster had taken a nap, and while he was taking that nap or sleeping, his friends left him behind. He tries to reassure himself in these notes that his friends remembered Row Zero and they would never leave him behind. You then find more notes, one of them clearly indicating that his friends indeed left him behind, but it's different. It's written in blood, and it's in all caps written, "They left me behind." This makes sense when you get to the top before your friends and you're ambushed by Scoutmaster Myers, which is why he's so furious and angry with you, because why did you leave your friends behind? Scoutmaster Myers is still on the island. Based on this, I think he was dead and never rescued, which can happen in game where you die close to the end, but still technically escape if one of your friends reaches peak and calls for help. The badge you get is participation, but does that mean you escaped or you helped your friends escape? And are you just dead to the island at that point? Or do you become the Scoutmaster? I don't think you become the Scoutmaster, but based off this info, I don't think the Scoutmaster was just left behind to die. I do think there was some type of curse put upon him as well. Now, I forgot to mention this during my recording, but there's also another way you could see the Scoutmaster, and it is back at the airport. All the way at the far end, you can actually glitch yourself through the wall to see the Scoutmaster there. But why is he at the airport? Is that a residual spirit that just stays there because that's where it all started? We'll never know, but you can see the Scoutmaster that way. Just a little Easter egg. Now, Scoutmaster's Bugle. I only recently found this in one of my runs with some of my friends, which triggers the Scoutmaster to basically come to you as soon as you play the Bugle. But why is he upset when you play the Bugle? Is it because his friends played the Bugle? Or did his friends reach the top of the peak, played the bugle, he was so close that he could hear it, and he just died of anger? Or is that the item that cursed him? Speaking of curses, curse objects, and things that give occult-like or curse-like feeling, one of the pages you stumble across is bonus rule 3, and it is titled Embrace the Occult. It mentions the revive totem, how you can bring a friend back to life. It mentioned that the islands bends the rules of mortality itself. Now, based off these notes, I want to dive into the occult a little bit. The island has many points where it is pretty scary. It feels like you're meant to be there almost. Like the plane was meant to crash and cause. Remember, it was only a little oopsie. But then there's the tomb. The tomb is an area that can appear in the mesa. You drop down a very small sliver and go through little cracks. It kind of feels like cave diving in a way to finally reach the golden bing bong. You can bring that golden bing bong to the kiln and drop it in the fire. While looking back on some of this footage, I did realize that there is another big statue behind the golden idol, and it is very similar to the revive statues. So if you guys have any theories about that, let me know, other than this area is very sacred. Which makes me think this plane crash was on purpose. Some type of connection with the land and the airline, maybe? Was someone looking for the golden bing bong? Or are we in the Bermuda Triangle? I doubt that, but you never know. Moving on to Bing Bong. I feel like I gotta stare into its soul to figure it out. Bing Bong is everywhere, and I mean everywhere. From the airplane to the airlines, to the plushie itself, and even to Golden Bing Bong. This adds onto my theory of crashing on purpose, by the way. Why are you so important, Bing Bong? Why do we need to sacrifice you to the fire? Or even take you all the way up to a peak to rescue you? You're a part of a cult, aren't you? That's unfortunately all I have on Bing Bong. I would tie it up and tell it to give me its money, but that won't work for now. Recently, the Mesa biome was added, which included some cool things such as the tomb, but also the looker, the watcher, whatever you want to call it exactly. I've heard both. I've heard looker, I've heard watcher. This caught my attention so quick. I never encountered it during my first time in the Mesa, but around my third time in the Mesa, I saw it and I was genuinely terrified. There was something so uncanny valley horror about it. It freaked me out. The Looker slash Watcher is a character that looks like to be a part of the True because it looks exactly like your characters, but it's hiding behind a rock and slowly peeking out to look at you. But when you try to go close to it, it disappears, like it was never there. Now, according to deltasgaming.com and to a lot of other articles, the Looker is one of the lost souls of the expedition led by Soul Master Myers. It has orange skin and wears a white shirt, a blue sash, and a smile on its face. Much like its horrifying leader, the Scout was likely twisted by the occult and the influences from the island. Based off this article, they do think that the Looker is spying on potential prey to eat because of the cannibalism update in Peak. And if I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if that is true, because that would be crazy. Now, I don't know if this info is from specifically the writers of the articles or the developers mentioned this and the writers included it into this article, but that's the information I know about the Looker. The information I get in these videos are all always cited or information from my personal gameplay or personal experiences. If I am wrong about anything, I am sorry. It is a human error, but I am still very, very curious on what you guys have in terms of information about the game, whether it's theories. I would love to know, but I just want to let you guys know all of this is always cited and I always try to refer to the original source I got it from. We are slowly but surely getting to the end of this video. We may have some answers, not all of them. This plane crash doesn't seem like an accident, and the Scoutmaster was sadly left for dead, maybe even cursed. And I feel some cult-like activities are happening on this island. What do you think? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you do miss me, please check out my Twitch for more content. Other than that, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.